The clock on the wall says 8:52, and we are done here at 9 o'clock. So first thing I would like to do is to apologize to anybody who submitted a question and we just didn't have time to get to it tonight. A reminder that the League of Women Voters is going to be in this room on the 11th of September, 11th of February.
September. What are they going to be doing in September?
It's been a long day for me too, guys. Anyway, so if you didn't get your question answered tonight, you have another crack because the format will be very much the same, except I believe they'll be generating questions real time from the audience from the get-go. So I want to make sure that you know that you have that opportunity. What I would also like to do, first of all, is to thank all of you for your willingness to participate and the quality of your participation tonight. I want to give each of you about 90 seconds to do a closing statement, and that should get us out of here pretty darn close to 9 o'clock. And the only question that I have that's attached to your closing statement is, is there a question you've been hoping that I would ask you that I just never got around to asking? If so, what would it be and how would you answer it? But please, 90 seconds is yours. And Kevin, I think we start with you. I think so.
Okay. The question I was hoping for is the comparison with the sheriffs. The bottom line is that today the sheriffs have a new sheriff in town, and the direction I see it going in is not favorable. I think before we consider going to an agency like the sheriffs, that we need to let that vet out a bit. The county supervisor's having issues with the sheriff. He's done some things that are in the gray area. So I want to just put that out there. And just in closing, I'm here because I want to be here. I love the city, raised my girls here. I'm not going back to Brooklyn. I'm staying right here. So what you see is what you get, and I tend to undercommit and overdeliver. That's the kind of guy I am, and give me a chance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Victoria?
Well, let's see, I can have my snarky list of things that I wish that we talked about. Peacocks, cell towers. Yeah.
Go for it.
So, I'm going to end where I started, which is that I think, everyone's going to do a great job. I noticed in this election so far, everybody's signs and materials kind of say the same thing, that their platform is to preserve the character and charm of Palos Verdes estates and to ensure public safety and, maintain parklands and all. And I think we'll all work hard to do that. For me, this is an election about leadership, and I think it's time for new leadership. I think, we've had some tough issues the last few years. I think it's time to give it a try with a new set of people. And I think there are things that are hard about being a leader in this town. It's great that people are smart and engaged, and it's really hard that people are smart and engaged. So it takes a strong leader and a balanced person to want to take that on, and that's what I want to do. And so I'll end there.
Thank you very much. Jennifer?
I want to thank you very much for your moderation and thank everybody here for being such a polite audience. I didn't prepare closing remarks. I guess I just want you to think about what you heard tonight and think about who you want your leaders to be. Think about, you can look back on my record, certainly. Again, it's just my first term. And so, going forward, I think I'll maintain the same kind of balance and decorum and thoughtfulness that I've used during the past 4 years, and that's what I want to do with the issues that are going forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. Michael?
It's been a great night, and I really appreciate you coming. I've absolutely enjoyed it, and for all of you that I've already met, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. A quick story. My parents struggled to get to Palos Verdes. And that happened before I even started school. My mother managed various departments at Sears, which still barely exists. My father, who is here, is an interior decorator. I started, my technology firm, and I've told you about that, and I've been in business for 30 years. And when I started my company, I literally played every single role in the business, and have just gradually gotten myself out of every role except for being the CEO, so I don't know what to do now. We span multiple locations, and we've grown and grown, and I just love the city that I grew up in. But I really think the direction that we're headed in, let's face it, is the wrong one. I'm running to stop our city from borrowing from our children's future, plain and simple. It's really time that we be honest with our residents and transparent about what our challenges are and how we work together to actually solve those challenges by hiding nothing from each other and being totally clear and transparent, period. So I am Michael Kemps. I appreciate your vote for me, and thank you so much for coming tonight and caring about our city.
Thank you. Betty Lynn.
So I first want to thank PVRG for putting this together. It's much more pleasant than I had expected, so that was really nice. Thank you for moderating and keeping everybody on the time track. So I wanted to talk about, obviously, finances a little bit. When we lost Measure D, it was a huge blow, obviously, to our budget and to our revenues. And when Measure E came out, although imperfect, we needed to have it passed last April, because if we didn't have it passed last April, we would have lost $5 more million last year, and we wouldn't get anything until this December. How can we possibly lose another $5 million twice? So as imperfect as it was, the council got together and really pushed it through. That shows leadership, because sometimes leadership is not getting everything perfect. It's about timing. It's about making sure that we are having the hard conversations, that we're keeping our eyes on the ball, and making sure that our residents are protected and that our services are met. So no, sometimes it's not about waiting and, the escalators and the COLAs and all this stuff. It's making sure that we come out with something that actually passes. That's leadership. And so I've been your mayor for almost a year, and I've had multiple conversations about everything you can possibly imagine about the city. And I would like another 4 years to serve our residents, because the first 4 years is really ramping up for the next 4. Gosh, lots of things could happen in the next 4 years. Lots of positive things and positive directions for the residents, for our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. David.
Likewise, I'd like to thank the organizing group and all you residents to join us this evening, and hopefully you've had some benefit out of this. The parting comment that I'd like to leave with you is that I come here with a very deep financial background. I have an ability to look into the future, and I've been doing some analytics. I think we have got some, because of the Measure E and D situations, we have got to do some serious decision-making and planning as we look forward. We don't have a long-range plan as we've identified. We need one. We need to be putting monies away today, not yesterday, but today, for our future. Otherwise, we are going to create an intergenerational transfer. In other words, we're going to enjoy the assets, and our kids and their kids are going to end up paying the bills. Short of that, Lynn and I have agreed, my wife, that we're not going to go back to Minnesota based upon the weather reports of last week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want you to notice that it is 9 p.m.
Good job.
Very briefly, on behalf of the PVRRG and everybody here in the room, thanks again for your engagement and for the amount that you obviously care about this city. The candidates are going to be sticking around for a few minutes for kind of a meet and greet or more informal conversation, so if you'd like to come talk to them, they're going to be here.